Hey folks, thanks for joining me today. I want to talk to you about wood filler. What it is, where you would use it, and why you would use it. Thanks for joining me. So, we're going to make some wood filler. What we are going to need is some glue and some sawdust. Where do you get that sawdust? The place that I always find it is in the sander that I've been using to make my project smooth. And the reason I do that is because it has the same color of wood that we're using. So, I'm going to grab a paper towel, pour out some of this really fine sawdust from the sander I've been using, and I'm going to use this sawdust. It's super fine stuff. You don't want anything that has big chunks or chips or whatnot, because then it won't pack in nice, and you'll be able to see those chips and those chunks, and it won't look good. So once you have your sawdust, I usually smooth it out, take my glue, and I'm going to put a little quarter size spot of glue right on my sawdust bed. I have my glue on my sawdust. I'm just going to mix it up with my fingers. And again, the reason I do that is so I can make sure it's pretty sticky stuff. So then I can go over and I can just push it into the place where I want the wood filler to go. And I usually leave a little bit more than what I need for a little while. Not the whole time, but for a little while. And I usually just do this with my fingers. So now I have plenty of wood filler on there. It's nice and sticky. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to wipe off the excess, because this stuff dries really, really hard, and it takes even more sanding to get it smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands after I finish all these holes, and then come back and smooth it off. So now that I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and throw away my excess sawdust. I could save it if I wanted to. I could put it in a little jar or something. But I got plenty of sawdust, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this away. And then I'm going to wash my hands. And by that time, the putty will be somewhat dry, and I'm going to scrape off any excess around the place where it's supposed to be, so that I don't have to go back and sand that at a later time. Okay, so I have a putty knife. You can use it for this. You could use probably a wide screwdriver. I wouldn't recommend it, but if that's all you had, you could use that. And what I'm going to do is just scrape off any excess that's on the wood, so I don't have to come back at a later date and sand that off. Alright, so we have our wood filler all dried. It's dried pretty hard, so we're going to need to sand it off now. If you look here, it's going to be a little darker than your lumber. So if you are going to see this, maybe wood filler, or if you're going to stain this type of wood filler might not be the best idea. Also, the sawdust that I used was a little bit darker than this pine. This had been sanded or been used since this was sanded on something else that was darker than this pine that we used here. So This is going to get painted, so it doesn't matter. It's not going to show. All I have to do is sand this off, and then we can paint it. And it's going to go over these holes. You're not going to see these holes like you would before. So if you're going to stain this, you would probably want to use a product that you would buy that is a color matching product, to where you would stain this a certain color. You could stain it anywhere from dark to light, whatever you want, and then you would match that wood filler color with your board. So this, since it's going to get painted, the fact that those are a lot darker doesn't matter. So we're going to paint this, and then we'll show you the finished product before we do any painting. Alright, so we have all the wood filler in, we have all of it sanded, everything's nice and flush. It's discolored, it doesn't look like the same color, but that doesn't matter because we are going to paint this and you're not going to be able to see those screws in. So it turned out how we want it. That's how you make wood filler, that's how you apply it, and that's how you sand it off. Thanks for watching. Remember folks, work hard. Hard work is its own reward. See you next time.